Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today I'm going to plant up a beautiful fall planter. This is a great time to get rid of some of your annuals and such that may not be looking that great. So go ahead and dump out the soil, dump out the old annuals that are not looking good, and it's time to start with a refreshed look for fall. So basically what we're going to do is I have a planter here and I have a bunch of different plants that I'm going to be putting into it. If you're local, you can go ahead and take your empty planters in and plant it up here at our spot to pot. Basically, we have a big soil table where you can leave the mess here when you're planting up your planters. We've got all the annuals and such that you may need to be able to create the perfect look for your garden. So let's go ahead and get this fall planter planted up. I have several different plants that I'm going to be using. I'm mixing in some foliage and some flower color. Typically, you may not think about using annuals in the fall, but why not? I mean, they're going to give you some color for the next probably 6 weeks or so, so you can definitely use them as an option, or you can use garden mums. Those are also a good option. So let's go ahead and get this planted. All right, so first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my planter and fill it up with potting soil. So I'm filling the planter, this is about 3/4 full of soil. And the first plant I'm going to use here is the Toffee Twist Carex grass. So this grass here has kind of a neat little fall coloration to it. You may be looking at it going, why would she be planting a brown grass? Like, is that grass dead? But no, this plant is totally alive. Toffee Twist is a kind of a golden brown grass, which is great for the fall look in my container. The reason I'm using this grass is it's going to give us a nice thriller. It'll be a nice thriller here in the planter, giving this planter some height. I also like using grass because grass adds motion as it blows in the breeze. And I think too, it's just a nice airy look to use in containers. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this grass out of the pot. Now this particular one, you can see there's a lot of roots on it. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of break these roots off if I'm able to, just to kind of help it be able to put its roots down into the soil a little better. Now if it's not super rooty like this, you don't need to do this. But because this one is fairly root bound, because this was around from the summer, we're going to go ahead and just kind of take the roots off the bottom and stick it in. Now when you place this in the container, you may go right in the center back. Maybe you're going to go in the corner. Kind of think about when you're having this outside setting on your patio, do you want the flat front facing or do you want it to be kind of on an angle with the front facing? What I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to plant this in the corner. That way it's kind of the point is facing the front. So I'm going to go ahead and bury this down in the soil. Like so. And then the next plants I'm going to take is going to be, this is a fern, this is a crested surf fern, and this is a perennial. So once my container is done for the fall, if I want to pull this out and plant it into the ground, I can do so and enjoy it in my perennial bed later on. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. Now this one here, you can see isn't near as root bound. So this one I'm just going to plant right in the planter. I'm going to put it off to the side because it too is kind of a taller plant. And the reason why I kind of did this triangularly is because I've got the really tall grass and the next two plants I'm putting in here are kind of like a medium height. So I think if I tuck them off in these edges, that is working good. So I'm going to also be using a coleus. This is the Wicked Witch coleus. Beautiful foliage. One thing I will point out though is if you are in the north, like Michigan, coleus may not be the best choice for your fall planters because once we get a first frost, coleus are definitely going to show that it got cold. But for those of you who are more south than what we are here in Michigan, coleus is a great plant to use in your fall planters. So we'll go ahead and pull this out. It's got a nice root system on it. But again, I'm not going to go ahead and mess with these roots because it's not very root bound. I'm going to put this one on the other edge because coleus is also more of a thriller, kind of a more tall, upright type plant. So that way we've got the grass and then the two taller plants on the outer edge. The next thing I'm going to do is plant a heuchera. And the one I'm using here is the Dolce Apple Twist. And this is a perennial, so when you're finished with this container for fall, this too can get planted out in your perennial beds so that you can enjoy it, for years to come. The reason I chose this is I like the bright chartreuse green foliage, so I think this is going to look nice with the colors we have chosen so far. I'm going to go ahead and plant this right up in the front of the container, like so. And you can see how the coleus really brings out, or the heuchera really brings out that beautiful lime green edging here of the coleus, and it just kind of brightens this whole container up. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some annuals and just put those in for that flower splash of color. So if you are in the north, maybe you would want to use a garden mom, where those of you in the south, these petunias are a great choice. Even if you're in the north, you can use the petunias, but just know that they may not last as long as what a garden mom may. So we'll go ahead and tuck these in there next to the heuchera. So this one here is the Dreamsicle Super Bells, and the purple one I have here, this is Royal Velvet. And we'll tuck that in on the side there. So that way we've got a little bit of flower color for interest, and then the beautiful foliage color here with the heuchera, the fern, and the coleus, and then the grass just adding that nice upright thriller look into the combination. And again, when it blows in the breeze, it gives it a little bit of motion and adds a little extra interest to the container. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill in around these pots, make sure the soil is all nicely full, and give it a good drink of water, and it'll be ready to set out on my patio for this fall. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.